Oh, yo, we are live, ladies and gentlemen. It is I, Coach H, back at it again. Day three, pardon me, of the NFL draft, live from Kansas City. It's been a very good day for yours truly, my Philadelphia Eagles. And uh, what's so unprecedented about this is that coming into this draft, there was a lot of talk about whether or not we were going to be able to get Bijan Robinson, a running back from Texas, outstanding running back. Um, Fall to us at 10. A lot of people debated that he would still be on the board. A lot of people debated that he wouldn't be. And third day, it's been exciting. It's been nothing short of spectacular. The excitement levels that I know I'm feeling are through the roof. And before we can go ahead and get started, he who shall not be named needs no introduction. He is the one and only um, gratifier of wide receivers, um, creator of forms, maker of kings, the one and only Coach Spring, or as some like to call him, Jamal Springer. Let's go ahead and bring him in here.
They just call me Eagle Schmiegel. Eagle
Ah,
Schmiegel, Eagle Schmiegel.
there he is.
I appreciate being on the show, Coach H the man. But Eagle Schmiegel is what you're going to call me from here on out. Let's talk draft. Let's talk big things. Let's talk big money. As I report from my luxurious vehicle, all I can think about is Lamar Jackson getting paid big bucks. Huh? Can't hear you. We can't hear you.
Yeah. Are we
Yeah,
good?
we couldn't hear you. Yeah, you're loud. I hear
Okay,
you
yeah,
now.
we're good. We're good. Like I was saying, Lamar Jackson about to get his bag. And now this kind of sets the line for the rest of the quarterbacks coming into the NFL. I have no doubt in my mind that the NFL is going to be flocked with black starting quarterbacks, very, very soon in the near future for years to come. And like Lamar getting that money just kind of shows, where the league is headed. And if you're
Yep.
not mobile, you just can't do anything that teams need to get to the next level, get to the Super Bowl. And the Carolina Panthers knew that. And now, are we going to find out if he is going to be the guy to get him to the Super Bowl? Because David Tepper was very excited about Bryce Young and what he was able to do. And you got to understand that an undersized guy like him is going to be expected to fail. How is he going to hold up against, the likes of the NFL defensive linemen, rushing edge rushers, linebackers? Will he be able to stand up from those hits, or it'll be a concern like a Tua? We don't know how long Tua is going to continue to play. So I love
Yeah.
Bryce Young. I
Yeah.
thought we for sure number one pick going into this thing. There were some rumors late about Will Levis maybe going number one. Didn't even end up going in the first round at all. So
Yeah.
Bryce Young is the guy. Lamar getting his bag is very, very important. Special congratulations to him too. But I will not have any blasphemy here talking about my Philadelphia Eagles. I won't have it, and I'll tell you why. Howie Roseman just served a masterclass extraordinaire premium package, bachelor, doctor, master, whatever you want to call it. He just served the NFL and showing them what he is prepared to do, how he's prepared to do it, to not only get the players, but to be able to sustain that high quality level of play for years to come. The Georgia Bulldogs, we take a look at the guys that we're able to get in the last 2 years. Look, I'm convinced that he told the scouting department going into this season when they were going to take a look at the talent coming into the year that we needed this season. To go out to Athens, we're going to rent you the top hotel right there in the Hyatt or the Hilton. We're going to have you guys camped up there 4 months, five, six, whatever you need. We just want you guys to go to Athens, Georgia, every practice, every game, watch these guys, and let us know who the next one is. Because this is where we're going to be taking our defensive players from now on. We're going to be taking them from Georgia. We're going to be getting the Jordan Davises, the Kobe Deans. We're going to be getting the Jalen Carters who fell into our laps at 9. We traded up for peanuts.
Big steal. The Carter was a big steal.
The best player in the NFL draft. I mean,
big
what else is there to say? The floor is yours.
I'll tell you this. It was a big steal, especially based off the fact of the defensive fronts that you guys had, the acquisitions during the season and the off season of last year. It's almost unfair for him to join that roster. I'll be honest with you. I'm not a big Eagles fan, but I'm always a big Eagles supporter just based off the rich history. But for me, the biggest steal was my boy Zay Flowers. I think that was a huge pickup. And I'll say this. The reason why I'm saying this, going back to what you mentioned about the mobile quarterbacks, and there seems to be a theme around the NFL with what they're picking up. I think it's important when we get these young black quarterbacks that we equip them with weapons. Because if we don't equip them with weapons, what happens is he's just another running back that can throw the ball, right? And we want to dead that narrative. So to dead that narrative, we got to get these young guys some weapons. Miami, they did a good job with that with Tua. Tua's got a bunch of weapons right now, right? So as much as I like Bryce, I like him. I think he has some good capabilities. He doesn't have many weapons over there. He doesn't.
Actually, I don't want to say he doesn't. I think Carolina is going to surprise us this year. I think they're going to surprise us this year. Before we got on into this conversation, you asked me where Miles Sanders went. I told you where he is, in Carolina. You take a look at Terrence Marshall now in year 3 in the NFL. He was slowly and steadily starting to climb up late last season, being a main contributor on the receiving end, along with DJ Moore has now departed to go to Chicago. You take a look what Terrence Marshall has brought to the team in terms of physicality. And look, you correct me if I'm wrong, but when he's running those routes, he's running them like he's trying to run through a man too. He's not just running them to make himself get set up for a perfect time catch. He's running because he wants to hurt mans en route to going to get those balls. You could correct me if I'm wrong, but from what I've seen out of him, I wouldn't be too upset with the Terrence Marshall leading the way. Why the fuck not? You must have thought to yourself when you saw DJ Moore get traded to Chicago.
I know. Listen. So here's what I'm saying to you. What you're saying is valid. There's a lot of upside. He has a lot of potential. But when we're looking at the landscape of the NFL is starting to become like the NBA. Everybody got a big 3, specifically at the wide receiver position, right? Now looking at Carolina Panthers, yeah, you're naming a bunch of, these guys are rated C+. On some teams, they might be the number 3 guy. On some teams, they don't even play. You put this guy in the roster with Bengals, you think he's going to get any reps? He's not. So when I say not enough weapons, I mean not enough playmakers that can change the game anywhere on the field. I don't see that at Carolina. Miles Sanders is a great skilled position player. I think there was a glimpse of stardom, but at the end of the day, your roots are your roots. He was a backup behind Saquon Barkley. So I don't want to hear that he's a star and he's going to change the offense. It's not going to happen. It's not.
Listen, for me, I hear what you're saying, and you're absolutely right, especially about Miles Sanders. When he was in Philly, you kind of saw flashes of that too, the potential if he would be able to stay healthy, maybe be more available, especially when Carson Wentz, when he was there, got hurt the year after they just left the Super Bowl. I think it was 2019, 2020, his last 2 years before he left. Miles Sanders could have really been the guy to kind of stand out and show everybody, look, Shady's probably going to go down as the greatest running back of all time in franchise history. even arguably maybe even make the Hall of Fame one day. But I'm here. I'm here and I'm ready to show y'all that I can take it to the next level. Not only can I leave where he left off, but be the guy long term. And Philly, year after year, they've never really invested any high real estate in going to go get a running back in the first round, right? The last guy to get drafted as high was Shady McCoy. He was drafted in the second round, and we know what he did. Brian Westbrook drafted in the third round out of Villanova, and we know what he did. So I think that if he's gonna prove that point that he's gonna take his game to the next level and get that team to the next level, especially with a young Bryce Young, he would need to do that with familiarity, being in a system that he knows will help him play. Frank Reich was there when Miles Sanders was drafted. Frank Reich knows him, he's familiar with him and everything that he's done. And I think it's important for us to remember that when you have familiarity as a running back in the NFL, a position that doesn't necessarily have a lot of shelf life, people are not going out of their way to invest, early premium draft stock and going to go get a guy like a Miles Sanders. You still got to remember that they're valued positions, especially if they can catch the football out of the backfield. In today's NFL, running backs need to be able to do that. And I don't think that the Eagles put too much thought into it or too much value into him running the ball and then catching out of the backfield. He may have been a guy that was better doing the latter, but all the same, we're going to get a guy right now who is, in my opinion, top 5 talent in DeAndre Swift. Coach Spring, a.k.a. Millie Mills, is not here right now. He got temporarily disconnected. I'm sure he'll be back very soon. But just getting back on DeAndre Swift, you got to understand what that brings to us. Like, we got a guy that can do what I just said, run and catch the football out of the backfield. When you have that, you have options, bro. You could just continue to spread the football out. I believe the Philadelphia Eagles will try to get another guy potentially to either push Quez Watkins for the number 3 spot in the middle in the slot position, or we'll just let it play out with any guys that we have on the come up coming from the PR, But bottom line, I feel like right now we're looking at Philadelphia letting the league know that what you saw last year was not a fluke. What you saw last year was not something that just come out of the woodworks. This is going to be the norm going forward. NFC East, we're here. Philadelphia Eagles, best draft of the year so far. I mean, what can you say, right? They've done it. And I got to go ahead and give a special shout out to Mathieu Bergeron, right here from Quebec. Has done us all a great honor and a great pride to get himself drafted by the Atlanta Falcons in the second round. This guy is going to be an absolute stud in the NFL. He's going to get after it as a young guy coming in right away. I could see them even trying to put him inside. He looks like he could play both inside and out. I look at him as a true tackle. I watched him play in the recent Senior Bowl. He just looked like a special talent, a guy that is going to be very, very durable, someone that doesn't have a lot of injury history coming out of Syracuse. Has an amazing story, too. And I can't wait to see that. I know NFL Canada is going to be all over that. So I'll let them release that when time comes, or hopefully we can get him on the pod. Mathieu Bergeron, again, drafted by the Atlanta Falcons. And it's looking like they're going to have their guy for the next several years on the bookend position. You look at Desmond Ridder. What's he going to be able to do in year 2, right? Arthur Blank said, look, man, we're not going to trade for Lamar, and he meant it. They're not going to trade for Lamar. And the Ravens believe in Lamar because the Ravens know what Lamar can do. But Desmond Ridder is going to get his opportunity in Atlanta. I mean, unless they bring somebody else in, they release Marcus Mariota because I think they were comfortable. They did sign him to a 2-year deal, but they ended up releasing him. Just a quick update here. Last 5 picks so far. Nip Hampton goes to the Los Angeles Rams at 161. 162, we got Will Mallory Chase Brown goes to the Bengals. That's a big pickup for them. I like him to Giovanni Bernard, maybe a little bit better. Jaron Hall goes at 164 to the Minnesota Vikings, and Terrell Smith, quarterback, goes at 165 to the Chicago Bears. And it's been a very busy day. This is one of the best drafts that I watched in a really, really long time. And I think it's fitting because when you take a look at some of the talent coming in, it's like everyone has that fair parity advantage where they can go get after a guy, and the numbers in terms of rankings from 132 will be just that much more um, indicative of how the league is trying to set up parity and even out the odds for everyone to grow their rosters within the budget that they've been allotted by the NFL. Obviously, the salary cap putting a strain on some teams trying to go and reach and get big time superstars to come in and help their team win. But I feel like this year specifically, the NFL has done a really good job of showcasing this draft in Kansas City. Over 125,000 fans. I didn't like the setup of like how they had it set up compared to how it was in Philadelphia or even in Tennessee last year. I thought it was just more inclusive in terms of how many people could actually feel like they were there. There wasn't these like it doesn't look like there's any like large designs or anything like that. I remember actually last year it was in Vegas. Sorry, not in Tennessee. I think the Tennessee was the year before that. But the draft was in Vegas last year, and Vegas they always do it big, and maybe it was restricted for having other people going in to attend it, and they weren't able to really get a look on who they wanted to see. A lot of people travel to go to the draft and experience the kids getting that dream granted from all the hard work that they've done over the years to get at the top of their game and finally be able to showcase their talent, their talent and provide for their families and just live the dream of being an NFL player. Kansas City did a good job of allowing people far and wide, like literally, to be right there and feel that excitement for for the players. So that's really cool to see. Um, but I like my Eagles draft. I love my Eagles draft. I love their players. We went after the right guys, and I feel like we have so much talent right now coming back on the defensive side of the football. I'm excited to see what the younger guys are going to be able to do to provide not only more depth, but more of a competitive atmosphere that kind of keeps everybody sharp, keeps everyone on their toes, and just get us to that promised land again, and hopefully go ahead and capture our second Lombardi Trophy. It wasn't too long that we won the last one. I think our window is going to be open clearly now for the next 5 to 7 years at least. The way Howie draft, if Howie keeps drafting like this, if Howie goes ahead and has this formula where he's just going to go and set his scouts up and set his people around the best possible replicated formula for the players in those schools to come into the NFL and have that professionalism edge in terms of how the programs are managed and handled and how they do what they do to bring the players in and let them feel a part of the program, let them feel a part of a culture that's already built, only adding another piece, right? Adding a piece of themselves. Let them see that. Howie Roseman drafted 5 of the best defensive players. We for sure got one of the top 3, if not guaranteed top 5 players in this year's NFL draft in Jalen Carter. And last year, we did the same thing by trading up and having a beautifully set package that didn't hurt us going into the future with the Tennessee Titans, the New Orleans Saints to get Jordan Davis. And then we trade another pick to the Titans and get A.J. Brown. You've seen what that was able to do for our team. You've seen what that was able to do for Jalen Hurts right away. And had he not missed those 2 games, he would have for sure won that MVP. It's like they weren't trying to give it to Jalen Hurts. They were trying to give it to Patrick Mahomes. He had an amazing regular season, statistically better from a quarterback position than Jalen Hurts. But Jalen Hurts just does the extra, just gives you the more that you need to move you and your team forward. That's what's important. And I think that when you bring all those things into fruition and you put them in place to be able to show ultimate results, can't lose. Philadelphia replicated that formula from last season, came in with the same mentality, and added three more back to back national champions to their defense. Young guys that will have for 4, possibly 5 years if we want to, because the 5th-year option on a rookie deal always extends after the 4 obligated seasons the rookie plays. If we go ahead and we get more guys from that defense, if they have the same success that they've had in the last 2 years, I don't know what else to say. I really don't. Jordan Davis, Nakobe Dean, Jalen Carter. Jalen Carter's playing with Jordan Davis again. Like that wasn't even something that needed to be done, and the NFL allowed it. The 2 most destructive, dominant interior linemen in last year's Georgia National Championship front, those 2 guys are together again. Only this time they're with my Philadelphia Eagles. Oh yeah, I'm gonna take my time with this one. I have to. I have to. And y'all got to get used to it too. Y'all got to get used to it because a lot of y'all out there was talking mad shit about my Philadelphia Eagles, even when we had the success. I was running y'all miles. That is fine. It's cool. We moved on from Carson Wentz. We brought in Jalen Hurts. It hurt, don't it? I know. You know why I know it hurt? Because we arguably have the best, and I mean the top draft this year. You know it's got to be us. You know that. So we're going to log back in, but for now, we're going to log out, take a small break, and be back for the finale. Right now, we're in the 5th round, going into round 6 shortly. So we're going to circle back mid round 6, probably possibly even the beginning of round 7, recap day 3, talk about our surprises on day 2, and our slip and slides on day 1. You know, some players surefire locked in first round picks and ended up slipping and sliding out of the rounds. You know, 2 years in a row, I feel like this has happened to 2 of the better defensive players in college football in Nakobe Dean sliding to the 3rd round. We're talking about the Dick Butkus award-winning linebacker, national champion linebacker, best linebacker in college football last year, slid to the 3rd round, right into our laps. One of the top corners for sure in the NCAA from a year ago, and in this draft, fell into our laps in the 4th round. I can't even believe this guy is a for sure day 2 talent, early day 2 talent. Fell to the 4th round, and we got him behind Darius Slade 2-year contract extension and a 3-year Jeff Bradbury contract. We already had Zeke McPherson from 2 years ago. He's going into year 3. Avonte Maddox is still under contract. We'll end up playing out his contract only for Zeke McPherson to move in the following year. I think Zeke McPherson will be a full-time starter next season. He's going to have more reps this year. He has to have more reps. If he doesn't get more reps, they're going to cut him or they're going to find somebody to trade him to. But that's what I feel. We can touch on that later. But Zeke McPherson, Devontae Maddox. Now you have Keely Ringo coming into the fold. What else do you want? What else do you want? We'll be back top of round 6 or at least top of round 7 guaranteed. This is Coach H, aka H the Man. I'm going to sign it off for myself, Coach Spring, and we will see y'all later. Peace and love. Peace.